Okay, up to this point, we have learned 4 types of formula. Pythagorean identity, cofunction, odd and even, sum and difference. Right? We have learned 4. We're going to learn 3 more today. There's going to be a formula quiz in about 2 weeks, I think. All right, first, double angle. So, sine of 2u is equal to 2 sine u cosine u. Okay, I'm going to show you how to use double angle formula really quickly, but we're going to use them to prove. Okay, so sine double angle. So what does this mean? So for example, let's say that you wanted to know what sine of 120 is. You already know what sine of 120 is, but let's say you wanted to use the formula. So then what you're going to do is you're going to change 120 degrees into a double angle, meaning 2 times what angle is 120? 60. So then what I'm going to do is change that into a 2 times 60 so that I can use double angle. The way double angle formula works is it's saying 2 times what angle is that angle that's unknown. Okay? So then in this case, u is 60. And then I'm going to just apply the formula with 60 as u. A lot of people get this confused. They don't know what angle to put in. You change the question so it's double of something, and then you put that angle in there. Okay, so apply the formula. 2 sine 60 cosine 60. Remember that 60 is the angle. All right, then all we do is just apply the formula. What is sine of 60 degrees? Okay, thank you. So that's why I had you guys do that warm up. Okay, cosine 60. Huh? Okay, thank you. 1/2. Okay, so then 2 and this 1/2 will cancel, so it's square root 3 over 2. Let's just double check. Sine of 120. Sine of 120 is right here. Is that square root 3 over 2? Yes. Good. So this is how double angle formula works. You change that angle that you want to find as a double of something. Okay. Let's say on the formula quiz, you totally forgot how to what the double angle formula is. So let's say that you forgot how the double angle formula is. Then what you can do is you can derive it from the sum and difference formula. So sine 2u is the same thing as saying sine of u plus u, right? Yeah. Right. U plus u is the same as 2u. So we can just use the sum formula. What is the sine u plus u formula, or sine of sum 2 angles? Yes, sine, cosine, cosine, sine. Remember? Yeah. Yes. Okay, so sine, cosine, cosine, sine. Notice sine u, cosine u came up twice. Therefore, 2 sine u, cosine u. So that's how the formula came about. Okay? Okay, so if you just don't remember the double angle formula, you can always do that. Okay, cosine formula is the same, similar. Cosine formula, there are 3 versions. I'm going to show you how to get to all of them from the sum formula, and it's very, very easy in case you just forgot. Cosine squared minus sine squared, 2 cosine squared minus 1, and 1 minus 2 sine squared. All right, let's derive it from the sum formula. Cosine 2u is the same thing as saying cosine of u plus u. What is the cosine formula? Cosine, cosine, sine, sine, sine. So cosine, cosine, sine, sine, sine. Oops. So that becomes cosine squared minus sine squared. My first one. Can you guys see that? How do I get to the other two? Let's think about our Pythagorean identity. Cosine squared is the same thing as what? What? No. Cosine squared is 1 minus sine squared. 1 minus sine squared. Minus sine squared. That is 1 minus 2 sine squared. So we got a third one. How do I get to the other one? Change this instead. So sine squared is the same thing as what? 1 minus cosine squared. So I can do 1 minus cosine squared here. And then I would get cosine squared minus 1 plus cosine squared, which is 2 cosine squared minus 1. You guys with me? So you can get to all of these formulas from just the sine, cosine, cosine, sine part. All right, last formula, tangent. Tangent of 2u. Okay, you can always get to tangent from sine over cosine. You know, that's always valid. But tangent does have its own formula. It's 2 tangent over 1 minus tangent squared. And I'm sure you can prove it from the previous formulas, but we're gonna not take the time to do that. Okay, next we're going to just solve a few problems first, and then come back and do the other formulas. So let's go to the next page. Okay, are you guys good, kind of? Is Erin good? Yeah. Okay. All right, half angle identity means half of what angle is this one. So make a different small boundary there. Okay, sine of u over 2 is equal to plus minus. Plus minus does not mean the answer is plus or minus. It means you need to choose whether the answer is plus or minus. And I'll show you how to do that. Plus minus square root of 1 minus cosine u over 2. So there are no fancy ways to remember this. You just had to memorize it. So I would try to come up with some stories or something about sine and cosine. Like sine doesn't like cosine. That's why there's a minus. Something like that to help you remember that. Okay, cosine of u over 2 is equal to plus minus square root. It's very, very close to the sine u over 2 formula. It's 1 plus cosine u over 2. The tangent formula, there are 3 of them. The first one is very simple because it's just sine over cosine. So if you take the sine formula divided by the cosine formula, you would just get square root 1 minus cosine u over 1 plus cosine u. The other 2 are similar, but what you want to do is rationalize the denominator. So basically, if you multiply by this, I'm not going to actually finish it for you, but if you do that, you will get to the next 2 formula. Okay, so the next formula is 1 minus cosine u over sine u. And then the last one is sine u over 1 plus cosine u. All right, so these are the 3 half angle formulas. So I'm going to show you how to use them now. So next page. Okay, power reducing identity means I don't want the higher degree, I want to reduce it. So for example, if we have a sine squared u, that means the degree is 2. I want to reduce it to a degree of 1, then I'm going to use this identity 1 minus cosine 2u. The cosine 2u, that's like a double angle, and then over 2. Okay, so when you use this when you don't want the higher degree and you want to reduce it to a lower degree. Okay, all right, cosine squared u is the same idea. It's going to be 1 plus cosine 2u over 2. And then tangent squared is just the sine over cosine. So 1 minus cosine 2u over 1 plus cosine 2u.
So basically you just took away the square root.
Yes, yeah, you're reducing the square down to 1 degree. So we are going to do a few things. So you guys are going to stay with me on this algebra fun trip. It gets very complicated, but the more you try now, the better you're going to be next year if you do take calculus, because then we can't help you with the algebra. It's kind of like you're supposed to have practiced it for 2 years. Okay, so we're going to do this together. All right, prove the identity. Sine 2u is 2 sine u cosine u. We already did that. If you didn't write that down, let's have you prove it. So sine 2u is sine of u plus u. Okay, so using the sum and difference formula, you want to get to the double angle formula. So we already did this on the previous page. Pretty simple. Just apply the formula. You'll see that there are 2 of the same thing. Okay. Next, let's have you try this one. Sine 4x. Notice on the right-hand side, there are a bunch of 2x's. So how do we use the double angle formula to get there? So what's another way of saying sine 4x using the double angle formula? Oh, that's a sum and difference formula. How do you use the double angle? Yeah, 2x times 2. So 2 times 2x. And then this 2x part is the angle for the formula. Yes? No? Why is Ashley just looking at me? All right, this is pretty much just one step, and you get to the answer. Okay, so this is kind of a simple proof of using double angle formula. We're going to now go back and do the half angle. Okay, so this says use the half angle identity to figure out the number without calculator. Sine 15 degrees. We can get to sine 15 degrees from the sum and difference formula, but this time it says please use the half angle formula. So what you need to do is ask yourself, what angle divided by 2 is 15? 30. So 30 is going to be the angle we're going to use. All right, the sine half angle formula is equal to what? Plus minus?
1 minus cosine 30.
Yes, so cosine 30 over 2. Correct. So when you apply the formula, this angle is the u. So it's basically saying what angle divided by 2 is going to give you 15. All right, I'm going to tell you how to pick plus or minus really quickly so we don't wait till the last once we have the answer. Sine 15 degrees. So the first thing you have to ask yourself is, where is 15 degrees? Which quadrant? First quadrant. Okay, remember, all students take calculus. So, which, in that first quadrant, is sine positive or negative? Positive. Positive. Therefore, you use positive. That's it.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
That's it. So you pick plus or minus based on whether that should be plus or minus in that quadrant. Okay? All right, now solve. 1 minus. What is cosine 30 degrees? Rad 3 over 2?
Yes.
Okay, this now becomes a algebra problem. How do I simplify this complicated fraction?
First to the top.
First do the top, then divide. Yes, not the fastest way. Let's try a faster way. Huh?
Get rid of the fraction.
Get rid of the fraction. Okay, so get rid of the fraction means we need to multiply by the least common denominator. What is the least common denominator between these three terms? 2. Yes. So we're going to multiply by 2 over 2. Okay, I'm going to multiply 2 to every single term. That will get rid of all the fractions all at once. So this becomes square root of 2 minus root 3 over 4. Okay, remember when you have a square root over a whole fraction, it means square root the top, square root the bottom. Okay, the top, there's nothing I can do to simplify that. What about the denominator? It becomes what? 2. Can you guys see that? Okay, square root 4 is 2. So square root of 2 minus square root 3 over 2. So this is the answer.
Okay.
If you use the sum and difference identity, you're going to get a totally different looking answer, but the value is the same. It's because we have a nested radical, that's why the answer is different, but it's the same answer. All right. You guys just look dead in general. Let's try this one. Tangent 195. Tangent 195. Half angle. So, what angle divided by 2 is 195? 390. Yes, 390. All right, tangent has 3 formula. Which one do you guys want to use? The easiest one? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
That is an excellent suggestion. Yes, please pick the easiest one, not the hardest one. Which one?
Oh,
Probably not the first one, right?
Last one.
Last one?
It's plus.
There is a plus.
Yeah, so we don't.
I like plus as well. Okay, sine 390 over 1 plus cosine 390. All right, I don't know what 390 is. Can we use a coterminal angle? What's a coterminal angle with 390? 30. Yes. Sine 30 over 1 plus cosine 30. All right, finish this one. Let me know when you're done. Okay, so first, a lot of you got to this answer, which is correct, 1 over 2 plus root 3. However, your solution is not going to say this answer. Your solution will have it rationalized. So 2 minus square root 3. So then that's going to be 2 minus square root 3. In the denominator is a squared minus b squared. That turns out to be 1. So it's just 2 minus square root 3. All right. Let's go back to the first page. We're going to do the last identity. That is called power reducing. All right. Next page. Okay, so page 16. Rewrite cosine to the 4th x in terms of trigonometric functions with no power greater than 1. That does not mean cosine times cosine times cosine times cosine 4 times and saying that, okay, everything is 1 degree. No. If I simplify it, I would still get 4 degrees, so that's not okay. All right, so this means I need to change this so there's no 4th degrees. Well, we can think of it this way. Cosine to the 4th is the same as cosine squared times cosine squared, correct. And then I can use my power reducing identity. Okay, what's the power reducing for cosine squared? 1 plus cosine 2x, yeah, 2x over 2
over 2.
times 1 plus cosine 2x over 2. Okay, I am going to FOIL the top and then multiply the denominator. Okay, make sure you can FOIL really fast in your mind or else it just takes way too long. 1 plus 2 cosine 2x plus cosine squared 2x over 4. Are you guys with me?
Yes.
Okay, so this over 4 is not preferred. It's better if we don't have this fraction going here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the 1/4 and put it in the front. This part is okay, right? That's not a complicated part. Okay, are we done?
Yes.
No, what's wrong?
Oh, there's still.
I still have a square. So, what should I do?
Do another one.
Do another one. That's correct. All right, another power reducing. 1/2. Okay, so in the beginning of it is the same. I'm just rewriting. All right, so bless you. Cosine squared 2x. How do I use the power reducing? 1 plus cosine what? 2 times 2x. Right, because my angle now is 2x, so it's double angle. 1 plus cosine 2 times 2x. That becomes 4x. So I'm going to rewrite it as 4x, save a step, over 2. Okay, we are done, but this is a very awkward thing. We are going to do some algebra fun trip. Okay, I don't like that 2 being there. It's very awkward. I want to bring it all the way to the front with that 1/4. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I have 2 other terms that don't have a over 2. I don't have a denominator of 2. So what I want to do now is multiply by 2 over 2 on everything. So then I can add them together. Sorry, Trey. I'm boring you there. Okay, 1/4 times 2 over 2 plus 4 cosine 2x over 2 plus 1 plus cosine 4x over 2. Are you guys with me?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, now I'm going to combine all the numerators together. 2 plus 4 cosine 2x plus 1 plus cosine 4x all over 2. Thank you, Aaron. Now we have a common denominator. I can take it out of the entire expression. Yes? So this is 1/8. And then I can see that there's a 2 and a 1 in there. So I'm going to combine like terms. 3 plus 4 cosine 2x plus cosine 4x. Now we're done. Were there any step in this algebra that was unclear?
No.
Okay, so when you do your homework answers are all going to be written this way. So if you don't get it there, please try to get it there. It's a good algebra practice skill. All right. One more and we are done for the day. Yes. Yes, question. What? All right, let's try this one. Prove this.
No. We have. Oh my God! Are you kidding me?
This is not too bad. Okay, what do you guys think we should do first?
I don't think I should.
Yeah, sine and cosine squared.
Are you?
Yeah.
Is there
Wait,
a better
cosine?
way?
I only heard cosine square.
And cosine split it up.
Is there a better way?
Cosine square times cosine square?
Minus sine squared.
Why?
That's so humongous. Let's not. do
Is that? I'm not sure if that's a great idea. Okay,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
looking at this, fourth minus. That should bring into your memory something.
I remember.
Yeah?
something-
No?
Oh, is the cosine 2u or something? Wait,
This is a little sad.
double
What about
angle
this?
identity.
Oh.
Okay? We don't have a square, but we have a fourth, but it's the same idea. Can I factor this? What does it become? Cosine squared minus sine squared. Anytime you see same thing, minus, you need to remember a squared minus b squared, no matter what degree it is. Could be the 6th, could be the 8th, could be the 10th. You got to remember that, or else it would take too long. Now what?
Oh wait, we can do the double angle.
Yes, this part equals 1.
What?
Cosine squared plus sine squared is 1.
Oh wait, you're right.
Now what?
With double angle, can I use that?
A squared minus b squared on the right side. For now.
Wait, where?
A squared minus b squared on the right side.
Oh, wait.
You probably could, but we're trying to get to cosine 2 theta. Hint, power reducing. Not double angle, power reducing. Huh? No. Yes, but probably not.
Can you change minus sine?
Oh, this. Okay, that's what Aaron's trying to tell us. It is just cosine 2 theta.
Yeah, that's what I was
The double angle formula is cosine squared minus sine squared.
That